Hey, everybody, and welcome to a little late night stream. And it's your girl Suzette Speaks here. I want to welcome you to another fantastic stream. Tonight's topic is going to deal with Miss Cheslie Kryst. So I'm going to warn you, it's going to be a little sensitive. Let me turn up my light a little bit. Want to welcome you, one and all. Thank you guys for coming. I typically do not go live this late, but this is something that I wanted to talk about. And I had a commitment earlier with my Patreon group. So thank you. I see you guys already in the middle of your own stream. I see you, Mr. Real Estate. I see you, Peter Investor M. So I want to welcome you. If you are watching, thank you. Drop a comment. Let me know that you're watching. This is a subject matter that is very heavy. So I think actually doing it a little bit later at night is actually better. Hey, Kimo, how are you? I think sometimes when we are dealing with sensitive topics, like one concerning deleting oneself and taking oneself away from this earth, it can be very triggering to people. So I don't mind. I know sometimes people do not want to talk about this type of stuff. So I can totally, empathize. But I also know that for me, the story really hit home because there was so many points of similarities that we have in common. She is an attorney. I'm an attorney. She was a television host. I'm a television host. She is an overachieving dynamic woman. I am an overachieving dynamic woman. So there were so many parts of the Cheslie Kryst story that made me just pause. It made me stop. It made me want to really examine some of the characteristics that a lot of us who push ourselves to the limit often have. It made me want to examine why there are some people who, can look like they got everything going on. And it could be, literally such pain on the inside, words could not express. So I want to just take some time out to honor her. Like I said, this was a very, very um, shocking story to me when I read it on Sunday. But for those of you who do not know, I'm going to talk about a former Miss USA, Cheslie Kryst, who ended her journey here uh, by the most dastardly means I could ever have imagined. This is a woman who had a law degree, got an MBA at the same time, was a collegiate athlete, Miss USA, top 10 Miss Universe, the list goes on, and on television. And to look at her from the outside, you would think that she had it all. But unfortunately, she was a woman that was in, a very, very dark place of despair, So we want to talk a little bit about it. I don't want you guys to. I hope I'm in the right stream. Yeah, okay. I thought I added my I made a little PowerPoint. I thought I added my little PowerPoint, but I don't see it. So I'm gonna take time to put my little PowerPoint up because I want it, and I'm gonna drop the link as well for y'all who want to come up and talk about it. If you all have dealt with it, please use the language deleted oneself, so that we can stay on the good side of our fair YouTube. But I didn't want this occasion to pass, and she's just a headline. I wanted us to kind of again look a little bit beyond the headlines and see, what we can take from the story as far as our own personal experiences, as far as why, it seems like the people who have it all, may be struggling. And then sometimes they're not even signs. We could talk about signs, but sometimes they're not even signs. So I'm going to say good evening, one and all. Welcome. Suzette Speaks here on a little bit of a somber note today. Again, we'll be talking about Miss Cheslie Kryst, her story. I know, again, it's going to be a little bit rough. So I decided to do it a little bit late. I also wanted to give my Patreon some time tonight. So if you are a Patreon member and hopefully you caught some of my outing today, I was out and about in Miami at an event celebrating Black History Month, and it celebrated women in media. So it was great to, celebrate and support my sisters in the media industry, women who were in television, radio, print. It was an invigorating evening. So I didn't MC. I just went to support, and I took my Patreon along with me tonight. So big up to my Patreon members, those who came through and saw, what I had going on. But yeah, this story is one that is very, very sensitive, and I do acknowledge that there is a part of me that don't want to talk about it, but part of me knows it's necessary. So I made a little bit of a fact sheet to start the discussion, and I want to welcome again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna just take my time as I, kind of talk about this. And it's something that, again, we don't always like to spend a lot of time to focus on, but I think she's worth that. I think hers is a story that, because she was in the public eye, because she was so popular, because she was, again, so beautiful, so talented, so smart. And it really struck me what she said about turning 30. Like, wow. It made me think about women and aging and some of the thinking that exists around that, and that some may not serve us. So anyway, I want to get deep into it. Let me go ahead and welcome y'all again for a little late night stream. I see Mr. Real Estate. Mr. Real Estate still streaming, but had enough time. But thank you to come on over and say he wanted to support. Thank you, Mr. Real Estate. Appreciate you, Peter. Thank you for being here. Salute to you, Simsia. Thank you so very much. I can't wait to see you. I have an all-male panel coming up on Thursday. All-male panel Thursday. We're going to do it at 5:30. All right. So we're going to be discussing, what the topic's going to be? Old school versus new school. Y'all ready? I hope y'all ready. Am I bright enough? Oh, I can't even see. I'm tired. But it's a East Coast 11 p.m. stream. I've never streamed this late in my life. But there's a first time for everything. I think it's actually appropriate because this type of stream, may be very sensitive for some listeners and some watchers. So if this is something that you have dealt with, I can understand that. If this is something that you don't care to focus on, I understand that too. Respect to you. But again, you guys know that I am a warrior when it comes to mental health. You know that I've already told you that, I've had my sense of burnout, overwhelm, letting people down, almost feeling as if, I'm not worthy enough. So there's so much in her story that I see myself, specifically right after college. I felt like I was going to lose it. I felt like if I didn't keep going and pushing myself to the limit, I would be letting people down. I know that feeling. So if you've ever suffered from, and the gentleman chime in, I call it Superwoman Syndrome, but there's a sense of, what should I say? Great expectations that are placed on so many of us, particularly if we are the first in our family to do a lot of things, if we're the first to go to college, if we're the first to, clear a master's degree, first to go to law school, first to whatever. There's so much pressure. There's so much pressure on men and women to help others, to draw, the next set up right behind you, to support your family. I'm talking about your parents even. There's so many social pressures. I'm not saying those were Cheslie's, but I'm saying there is a different type of pressure that goes with being an overachiever, or being someone that is very talented and very, very multi-talented. I know that pressure, and I know that's not everybody's story, but like I said, when I read this headline Sunday, when it kept going across my phone, when I kept seeing it on Insta, I said to myself, God, I got to talk about this. This is like, she's like the poster child for, people who you can see every day. I think even her mother said, the happy, y'all hit the like button. I'm getting too much into the story. Y'all hit the like button. Y'all hit the like button first and foremost. Hit the like button. SuzetteSpeaks here with some, I hope I look good. I can't even hardly see with the lighting because I'm used to the daytime lighting. So I hope my lighting is okay. Little late night stream here, trying to just, take some time to honor the legacy and the untimely passing of Cheslie Kryst, my fellow woman in law. She was an attorney as well. I think they say she was barred in both, I think, North and South Carolina, working on civil rights cases. This is a woman that had it, quote, going on. But she penned an article not too long ago talking about the pressures of turning 30. I said, Jesus Lord, this where we at now? Y'all hit the like button. I'm going to welcome you in. Just came back from a beautiful event in North Miami Beach. I put it on my Patreon. Thank you, Patreon members. And got some late night food. If you saw me on Instagram, I'm sorry. I was kind of out and about. So this is the first time I've been out in a while. So I wanted just to share that with y'all, show you some behind the scenes of that. But again, I wanted to keep my stream schedule Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So I said, wow, I did not have any time during the day to stream. I had work and other things. And of course, this program. And then, of course, life. I said, okay, I'm going to come on for a little late night stream and see how you guys like this. So it's not my norm. I know some of y'all on the East Coast, like, really? But some of y'all on the West Coast might be actually liking it because it's like regular time, 9 o'clock Central and all that. So peace be unto you. Peace be unto you. There are parts of this story that I just wanted to highlight because everybody say they want peace, peace, happiness, love, peace, and happiness, peace and quiet. But it's something really, really difficult when you don't have peace on the inside of you. It's something that's really, 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 really hard to deal with when you lack peace. And what is so ironic about this beautiful woman, Miss Cheslie Kryst, is that, sorry, I'm putting a poster clinician now. That was last Saturday. Tell you that it's been a long day. Hit the like button though. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm gonna read some of y'all. Y'all know the Cash App is there. But yeah, this is more of a stream, just a kind of exhale stream. With all the news about her. Extra did a beautiful piece. I think that was yesterday, talking about who she was on set, and then some of the, co-hosts and co-anchors and co-reporters were just talking about how she was happiness personified and joy personified. And to know that a person who could be called and characterized as being happiness personified, no one would know, no one would guess the type of distress she was in. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, y'all. Let me get to the comments. Let me say hi to my peoples. Thank you again for joining. I'm SuzetteSpeaks, television host and attorney, wanting to just pay respects to my sister-in-law tonight. There was so much about the story, as I said, that pricked me. Not only just that she is a Black woman, but that I understand her. I really kind of was like, oh my God, I understand this woman. I understand who she is. And that pressure and that heavy weight of great expectation. I know that personally. So I didn't want her passing to just go by. I wanted to make sure we stop, recognize, and learn from. All right, let me see who's in the comments. Y'all drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what you ate for dinner. I got some lobster mac and cheese waiting on me. I'm so hungry. I got my hot tea cup. Oh, geez, it's too hot. Oh, yo. Because I knew I was going to need it because I came all the way from y'all don't look at the chip. Don't look at that part. But it says Women of Faith. I think I got this at Joel Osteen's church. I think I got this at Joel Osteen's church when I visited like a few years back. But don't look at the chip. It's a beautiful cup. I love this cup. So it's going straw. But it's a tea kind of night in Miami. It's a tea night for sure. I was sitting outside waiting for my food, and it was like 66 with the breeze. So a winter night in Miami. But glad I went out. I'm actually glad I went out and just saw the beauty and excellence among my women to kind of like prep me for this discussion, because I know it's going to be difficult, y'all. I know it's not something that's pleasant to deal with and to talk about. But it's real. I didn't know that. I don't know if you guys have seen the daytime talk show Call the Talk, and Cheryl Underwood when they were talking about this story, it was yesterday. She said her husband had passed by deleting himself. And then I watched, because I have the news on sometimes when I work, the ABC News anchor for the midday show, I think it's called GMA3, Dr. Jen Ashton, who is the resident doctor. Hey, I see you, Uncle Stu. Thank you for that. I'm coming to you. She said I think it was like her father and husband, some craziness. And I'm like, even though they say overall rates of self-deletion have been going down, it's been going up for Black and Hispanic. Come on, let's talk. Let's talk. So there's a trend that we have to be very, very aware of, y'all. That it just hurt my heart to read and again relate to so much of who this woman was. We're gonna talk to her. Good evening, Big Bad Bull. Nice to see you. Good evening, sir. See you, Gaston's World. ATL Gyro, what up? Gaston's World was just on the Patreon with me while I was out in these Miami streets. Yes, MC Recovery Wellness and Relapse Show. Nice to see you. Says yes, this story blue. You felt it too. You felt it too. Did the sister Cheslie? Yeah. You have to say delete. You have to say delete because we have to be careful with the algorithm. They'll block the show. So you have to say self-deletion or delete themselves. But yeah, I think so. They said that she left a note. She left a note. She said she wanted all her belongings to go to her mom. They don't talk about her dad. She looks like she might be mixed race or I don't know. I can't make that assumption, but they don't really talk about her dad. Her mom was a former beauty queen as well, right? Her statewide queen. Yeah, trigger warning for real, y'all. This is a little bit, like I said, I'm kind of glad I got to do this later at night so that y'all can just get a chance to go through your day and not really be dealing with it like while you work and whatnot. But it's a conversation that we need to have. Peace be unto you, Sunbreeze. Yes. Thinking about Cheslie's family for sure. Her mom, her mother, because her mother said to the guy on the show she was on, Extra, I think it was Billy Bush. Billy Bush said she spoke to her mother and asked her, did you see anything? Or he was like, no, the same happy person that y'all saw, the bubbly personality dancing in between takes, dancing on set. That's what she knew. Can you imagine? Can you imagine her mom? Never a road I would ever wish on anybody to walk. So yes, peace be unto her family. It's real out here, y'all. It's real out here. Good evening, Sunbreeze. Chemo, I said hello. Big up yourself. Mr. Real Estate in the building. Thank you, Jay, for joining. Oh, well, I appreciate I only dressed up, like I said, it's my first outing, even though my Patreon will know I kind of sat off to the side. I didn't really want to be next to the crowd at this event, but I wanted to support. I believe in giving people their flowers while they're here, letting them know they are doing a good job. If you knew how many greats almost gave up when it comes to, their vision, their job in the industry or whatever, how many great people almost gave up. So I'm very big on celebrating others. And so the program was about celebrating women, Black women, for Black History Month in media. So I went down to Miami to support, and I'm so glad I did. And I brought my Patreon along. I don't know why I can't say Patreon along. Thank you. I appreciate that, Preach Tech. Thank you, Preacher Tech. Thank you. You're something more important than anything right now. Somebody, hey, absolutely. I see the super chats. Let me get to those. Yes. Let me get to my super chats. Willie Waka Whistle, big up yourself. Thank you for being. Thank you for being here. I know it's heavy stuff, yo. I know. Oh my God, Lead, you up this late? Well, I know you be working hard, so I'm glad you up here. Thank you, Lee, for coming through. Had a busy day and a busy evening, setting up all the streams and making sure the Patreon was taken care of and all of that. So it's been a long day, but I didn't want to not go live. I wanted to do this stream just for my sister. My sister. My sis, she deserves it. She deserves to be remembered in her fullness, but also in her pain. It's a real condition that we live in with this pandemic. Then got people feeling hopeless. The woman thought her life, her sentiment. I'm gonna bring up my little slides. I made a couple slides, y'all. I was really in the mind around about 4 o'clock. What I'm gonna go do? I don't have time to do it before I go down to Miami. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna set it for late tonight. And I put a little presentation. But big up the lead attorney, the Seattle Black veteran. How are you? Thank you. Thank you for being here. Always supportive. Thank you, Uncle Stu. North Carolina in the building. My bush tea with my broke up cup. Y'all can judge the cup, but this is one of my favorite cup because it's deep. I needed to take tea because I didn't eat from evening. You know, when you go out, you're trying to look cute and stuff. I didn't eat, but actually, I didn't have time. My schedule today, I misjudged how much. You know, when you think you have more time than you do. Big up to Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. He says we spoke really on this on my show. Wow. Okay. Okay. Awesome. So we're gonna keep the torch. We're gonna keep the flame burning. It is something real where people, and I'm gonna go over it in my little slideshow, don't have the language to express how they feel, especially the people who we think are the strong people among us. That when you ask how you doing and the fine comes out, good comes right out. It's almost like we are afraid to burden the next person. We don't want to burden them. It's not a matter of like even hiding. It's like we don't want to burden them. We don't want to I don't want to give nobody else my problems, right? You don't want to give nobody else your problems. That's the problem when we think about it. Um, and the irony is, she had just done as Miss USA like a mental health day PSA about when she feels overwhelmed, and how she actually had like a breakdown from doing 2 degrees. I'm like, I know a couple of people who did a master's while they did their JD. It ain't fun. And they actually took the extra year to do the master's, but to do it concurrently, law school is an animal in and of itself. Law school almost took me out. I cry almost every day, first year of law school. Like I was overwhelmed at just, again, purpose as well as what I was doing, like not being aligned. So I can imagine the great expectations, and law school is not easy. Law school is not easy. So you doing that plus a master's at Wake Forest is where she went. Thank you, Uncle Stu. Appreciate you. I can't wait to watch your show. WT Funk. Wow. What is this? 2/22/20. Yeah, I saw that. Wait. Today is 2. We already there? 2/20. Oh, you already there because you're in Germany. 2/22/22, and the 33rd day of the year. Whoa. WT Funk coming through. Yeah, I'm sorry. Lee, not going to keep it too sad, Lee, but I just want to warn y'all because, again, I'm going to talk about her and her life. Talk about a little bit of how we can express ourselves a little bit more on our emotions. Super Steve from J Bones, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. All of your support here is just, I'm just grateful. And again, it is not something, like I say, I don't take pleasure in sometimes having the difficult conversation, but I know someone needs to hear it because oftentimes it's the people that look like they got it most together, the strong ones, right? The ones who have, everything. If you look at Cheslie's life, this woman won the beauty lotto, okay? The beauty lotto for sure. Talent lotto. She was also a Division 1 athlete. So all around her, I feel her. I'm like, I am her in a way. Like all her stories. Thank you, Seattle Black veteran. Thank you for showing love. When we talk about the mental health piece, guys, it's just something that we cannot, again, wherever my channel goes, that at its core, mental health awareness will always be something I carry with me. The realness of how I know I felt like I was about to die when I was I can't even say that, Sue, like I was about to lose it when I was in law school. I know I felt that, and I wasn't doing 2 degrees at one time, right? And I wasn't also, trying out in pageants and doing other things. Like, just law school alone is its own animal if you don't know what you're doing, because there are unwritten rules that if you don't have somebody who went to law school before you to kind of help you, know the game, you trying to, it's almost like swimming upstream, and you don't realize that you try to study the way you've always studied, it don't work, right? And then you're looking at a couple grades that you like, wait, I was an A student my whole life. What happened? What is this? Yeah, it can get the best of us. And then if you are used to, like I said, if you're a high achiever and things came easy, I'm not saying easy, not that you didn't work for it, but easy because you had the talent. Sometimes God gifts people with different aptitude. And she had what they say, 3 talent, 10 talent. She had many. But I don't think, and I was watching, what's her name? The Black Bachelorette. Is it Rachel? Was talking about how she went to dinner with her. And they were just talking about being, Black women in the public eye. That's why I'm like, Lord, help me. Help me, God. Because being in the public eye is no joke. And how, the trolls come out and the people who just say crazy stuff, racist stuff, just mean stuff. And how it does impact your mental health, right? Being a public figure, being online. I'm sure that had an impact on her as well. But we're gonna talk. We got some work to do, because like I said, this is the show, and I'm gonna warn you, like I said, I'm not gonna talk about her. Thank you again, Seattle Black veteran. Your donation is much appreciated. But you see what I titled the show, check on your strong friends. Check on your strong friends. Because one thing I know is that there are so many people who look like they got it going on, and inside they are literally falling apart. Let me see. Let me go to. So who are we talking about tonight, y'all? Y'all hit the like button. Y'all hit the like button. She was an attorney, this beautiful woman here that you see. In case you were not aware or didn't watch the news or whatever, I guess we have to kind of set the foundation. She was seeking to reform America. Sorry if my slideshow is not like perfect. I'm sorry. I made it like at 4, had to get ready at 5, and got to get to somewhere at 6 tonight. But just again, wanted to give you guys, I always start with some of the facts. Okay. She was an attorney, right? Who sought to help reform the American justice system. She was a fashion blogger, a news correspondent, and again, she was crowned Miss USA 2019. And this is the most difficult part that, like I left off the very bottom part. Let me move this and go back to me. That she had so much blunt force on the scene, it was a mess. That's what they're saying. Thank you, Uncle Stu. Yes, another one, Regina King's son. Once again, you can't say he didn't have access to resources. His mom is like, able to almost give him anything he wants now. And a young, beautiful man, her son, 26. Yes, I saw this. Saw this as well. It is, again, the rates among Black and brown people are actually going up. Something that we used to, old school, say we didn't do. Black folk don't do that. It's a lot of pressure out here, y'all. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Thank you. The Naked Truth by Annette's Worldviews. I said I covered this last night. People need to learn to slow down. I talk about self-care. I just did a show about self-care. Put ourselves under too much pressure to be the best at everything. And again, I'll add, and to meet the expectation of others. When I look, let's get to the quote that she wrote, because that quote that she wrote in an article about, quote, turning 30, it hurt my heart. I was like, this woman really struggled with purpose, and the sense that she was running out of time to like be who she wanted to be. it really frightened me. And I wondered, I was like, God, do a lot of other people. And I think in our society where we highlight people who are very young and very successful, if you are not one of those few people that, stumbles upon a great idea and have the parents and the resources to kind of help you make that idea a reality, you think that if you're not 25 and a millionaire, something's wrong with you. But that's not the world we live in. That's not the reality of the world we live in. But because we, highlight the 1 or 2% of the tech, gurus and whatnot, you have a lot of young people I saw an Instagram meme that said, if I don't have my life figured out by 30, just, forget about it. And I was like, the best comment was like, who's going to tell her? That basically the likelihood is that you won't. But it struck me. It struck me like, wow, this person thought they were running out of time at 30, that they were running out of like relevance at 30. I thought to myself, God, what kind of world are we living in? Y'all hit the like button. Shout out to y'all. I see you. Thank you, Michonne, Denise. Thank you. Fantastic content creator, always supporting. Thank you. Did a fantastic show with me. Thank you for being here. Miss Master Miko, nice to see you. Passing through, thank you. I know it's heavy stuff, yo. Like I said, I just wanted to honor her. It's something that from I saw it, a couple people had DM'd me, a couple people had emailed me. I said, no, I'm going to cover it. I'm definitely going to cover it. I was thinking about Lauren, the young lady from New Jersey. That's who was on my mind from yesterday. But then I was like, no, I got to cover Cheslie because it's just too much. It's just too much. It's just this beautiful, not only physically, but everybody just describes her as being so loving, so caring, so giving. And yet no one could see this coming. No one, not even her mom. Our mom said, no, this is what I saw too. A happy-go-lucky, extroverted, a ball of joy. So what happens to people? What y'all think? What happens to people? Wow, the external looks so picture perfect. I've been there. God, I've been there. And then inside you're slowly losing it. This is a real scenario, y'all. And I just wanted to take the time. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, AC, for being here. Thank you for your support. Oh, it is lonely at the top. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that. Somebody says mental illness is a serious issue. We need people that can listen to them so that they can be heard. Absolutely. Oh, to Chef, pick up yourself. Yes, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Yes, this is the quote I'm talking about. And I'm going to bring up the slide just momentarily. She said that she only had a short time to matter. And I'm like, this woman was Miss Universe, was top 10 Miss Universe and Miss USA. And if you remember that year, we had across almost all major pageants around the world. It was like a Black Girl Rocks year. Miss Universe from South Africa, the lady with the short, cute hair. Miss America, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA. We were having like a moment. And this woman really also still believed that she wasn't significant. It just hurt my heart. I'm gonna put up let me see if I can make it solo. The top is a little bit cut off. This is what she wrote in her magazine Allure. I think the type is a little bit bigger on here than it showed on my PowerPoint, but the point of it, it says the beginning of the quote, and I can pull it actually up from my PowerPoint, is that, and I'll read it in full. The beginning of the quote says, each time I say I'm turning 30, I cringe a little, Kryst wrote in the Allure essay on March 4th, and entitled A Pageant Queen Reflects on Turning 30. Society has never been kind to those growing old, especially women. Occasional exceptions are made for some of the rich and a few of the famous. Kryst, a Michigan native who won Miss USA title in 2019, wrote, turning 30 feels like a cold reminder that I'm running out of time to matter in society's eyes. And it's infuriating. Bruh, Bruh. Bruh. Mm. Mm. The fact that reflections on turning 30 were that, and y'all hit the like button as y'all come in, please, was that she had already, and again, being in that pageant world, I'm sure, because she also said, I'm the oldest Miss USA at 28. It was very, something that was brought to her consciousness in a real way that she's the oldest Miss USA, and how much of a factor age was to be correlated with significance. Are we living in that society? Y'all drop a comment. Is that true? Well, some of us should give up right now and just go to bed. If you're at 30, you talking about, I don't mean to laugh about, but I'm just in my head, I'm like, it's people out here that think they done at 25, done at 30. And I'll throw in there as well. She didn't mention it, but again, not having the relationship you want as well. And there's a lot of social pressure around being married among certain groups by the age of 30, by the age of whatever. And not having that, you feel like, But to in her own words say, it makes me cringe a little. Society has never been kind to those growing old, especially women, with occasional exceptions. Turning 30 feels like a cold reminder that I'm running out of time to matter in society's eyes. Bruh. Let me see y'all comments. What y'all think about that? Do you think that is a common belief by young people or by old people or by any people, mature people? That is so sad. That is so sad. Please, hey, Dr. Thunder, thanks for coming through. Dr. Thunder, I'm going to email you. I want Dr. Thunder to be with us on our Patreon next month. And I'm having an all-male panel, Dr. Thunder, on Thursday. Old school versus new school. So I'll drop the link information to you, sir. And if you're available, 5:30 Eastern, Thursday, we're going to do an all-male panel. All right. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, sir. And I can't wait to be on your show. Thank you. Jessica Jones's cousin says, this is a direct quote from her dad. Thank you. I didn't see this. I think it had a lot to do with family dysfunction. Wow. I wonder what he was referring to. Do you know, Jessica? Can you elaborate? I did not hear this. But it will be a while before we can talk more. She was sad. Whoa. I did not see this, Jessica. Direct quote from her dad. I think it had a lot to do with family dysfunction. Now, this woman is 30. So you can see how family dynamics play out. Even I know people that in law school failed the bar because their parents got divorced while they were in law school. So all these things impact us. Ooh, but it'd be a while. That's intriguing. I didn't hear that. Thank you for sharing that. AC adds, sometimes people say try to humble themselves and are mistaken for being weak. This is true. People try to walk over you. That's real. She didn't realize that God's rejection in his protection. Oh my, not everyone deserves to take part in your success. And that success delayed, this is what I have had to learn. Success delayed is not success denied. I think sometimes when the dream takes longer and you have to have patience, sometimes people get very, very discouraged. And I've been there where I'm like, God, is this really going to happen? I've seen the vision, but is this really going to happen? Like, really? You're giving it to me in my latter days? Like, is this really? Now, now that we're looking at 30 as being a benchmark of whether you'll matter in society's eyes? No. Interesting. Thank you for that, AC. Ode to Chef adds, we have to be careful of things we watch. This is it. Thank you. And consume the narrative is that when women hit the wall is at 30. This is what I think. And even with myself, I was starting to watch a lot of things that I was like, oh, this is making me very toxic on the inside. This is not good for my mental health. I agree with you. We all or all of us should never let others define us. I think you can be very, very influenced by the wrong messaging. I think this is very real. And if you're listening to it over and over and over again, it can become like truth, even though it's a big lie. I think you hit it right on the head, Otisha. Um, you can click the link. Yeah, you can come up. Absolutely, you can click the link. Like I said, I'm not gonna try to be. I want to go into a couple of slides that I've done as far as workshops for emotional health and emotional intelligence. So you guys know I like to put on things and talk about stuff. So I drew on a couple of slides. I don't even really have to get to them, but I wanted to offer some takeaways in terms of how we can express what is bottled up on the inside of us. But yes, I did drop the link. If you want to come up, please, please, please come on up. Yes, more for women in their third. Well, this woman was just turning 30 and has so much pressure on her. Ah, that's where you got it. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Sunbree says the question is, how can someone allow peer pressure in their lives? Well, this is hard. It's everywhere. It's social media. If they love themselves so much, they will let it flow naturally. This is where we want to grow to be. But I think also when it comes to public figures, and I don't know what her friendship and support circle. Thank you, Jessica, for bringing up some other possible influences in terms of her family dysfunction, as it was quoted. Um, yeah, it can be lonely. It can be lonely. You be surprised how few people. Hey, Mr. Real Estate, thank you for coming over. I know you was just streaming. Um, Chemo says I get hard on myself when I don't accomplish things by a certain age. Yes, it is depressing because you looking left, not just you, sir. I'm talking about in general. Look left, look right, and it's like so many people seem to be cruising on up the ladder. I look sometimes and I'm like, girl, watch your own race, watch your own race, because there is so much pressure on both sides. Looking around, like I have friends that are so successful, and married and got kids, so you want to be happy for them in a genuine way without being like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But you gotta love, you gotta know that it's also what is for you is for you. Go after what you want, right? But not what should I say? Not feeling as if someone else's joy is a sign of your loss. I think some people cannot make that distinction. AC says, I didn't know her, but I know the signs. A lot of Black women become overachievers because they lack the patience to wait on God. The wages of sin is death. We have to be careful not to allow people who invest, I see, maybe nothing in us to represent us. It's true. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nelly Child. Please drop it again. I'll drop the link. Sorry, let me do that. Let me go on to the next slide. How to perceive. I'm not gonna teach yet. Let me I'm gonna go with the guests. You guys can come on up first. Let's go that, and then we can end the conversation. Thank you, the Naked Truth with Annie. Let me move this. Again, just wanting to show respect for Cheslie Kryst, a beautiful soul that we lost too soon, and just wanted to talk about her and why this might be a good learning experience for us. How you doing?
Hi, Suzette. How are you?
Fantastic. Although this is a sad,
It
sad.
is. It is. Sorry, I can't come on camera. It's
It's okay.
5 o'clock, 5 a.m. and I've got a bonnet on, and I look like rubbish.
No, it's okay. You're in the UK.
I am in the UK.
Okay,
How are you?
fantastic. You
Yes,
up
yes.
early.
No, I haven't slept at all. I've been
Oh,
up all night working.
ah,
Yes, doing some research online.
gotcha.
So,
So, was this story huge in the UK?
oh, very big. I did a program about it yesterday
Oh, wow.
on my channel. Very huge story. all self-deletion cases are sad, but this is particularly sad because she was Miss America, right? Black woman, Miss America, competent lawyer, very, like you said, very accomplished, track star, everything. She was a superstar. And you just think, wow, what, and why would you do it in such a horrible way
That's
as
what
well?
that
Right?
way is like a cry for help.
It's
It is
really,
dramatic. It is public. It is, there's so much to say. And then we
it
can talk a
was
little
a
bit more about,
statement
yeah,
because
it is
many
a
people
statement. I agree.
self-delete,
I
but do it
agree.
in a different kind of way. This was a big statement. Um, but what I take from it, it's so sad. May her soul rest in peace, as with the soul of all the other dearly departed. Um, but what I take from it, one area, you've said many things, but the area that really gets to me the most is the way pressure really chases us
Mm.
everywhere. When somebody said, "Why do you fall for peer pressure?" Because you switch on your phone, right?
It's in your
And the
face.
notifications hit you.
I can't help. Every time y'all send me
you
something,
know,
I get a notice on YouTube.
straight up. So it's either who's doing better than you at this, or this person is doing better than you at, in school, or their children are doing better than you, or whatever. But what people fail to realize is that a lot of what's posted on social media is like an edited version of real life, right?
Absolutely.
Nobody really shows. Like, I'm not going to show you when I'm looking crazy in my bonnet.
Exactly.
I'm only going to show my face when I've got good makeup on and I look
Exactly.
presentable. That's number one. So
The
we're
highlight reel is what we
chasing,
say, the highlights. Yeah.
exactly, we're chasing, in inverted commas, these goals. We put so much pressure. So I think Miss World, Miss America, track star, great big career as a
TV
lawyer, great big
polls.
career on the news, and
Yes.
she still thinks she hasn't achieved.
Yes. But I've been there.
Exactly.
I'm telling you.
No,
I
but
I remember
why? The,
just at
mhm.
the end of my undergrad career, I was having that similar conversation with my friend. I felt like I had not done enough. Now, mind you, I had ran almost every organization, major organization on the campus. I had been, just all these accolades, but it never felt like enough at that stage of my life. 22 years old, I just felt like I don't know, I felt like a disappointment to my parents. And it was so far from the truth. But in my head, I was just like, I don't know what more I wanted. That's why I could see her being like, this isn't enough. We want more, but there is really no more. You just don't know it. But you always have
Exactly.
been, it's almost like you've been conditioned to chase. I have
We're
become
always
content, thank you
chasing.
God, with what I have, still reaching, but I'm less like the chase. I used to have a deep, deep sense of like, the next thing, push forward, push forward. Like I don't know. I know the feeling, and it's not a good feeling. And you have to have people who are in your circle who can identify it for you. It was a homegirl of mine. It was actually my best friend, then her like roommate, and I were talking on like a deep, college step, like outside on the steps. And she was just saying, listen to you, listen to you, listen to you. You're probably the most, accomplished person I know, and you still feel like this. So this is a real thing.
But
This
I know
imposter
it's a
syndrome.
real thing because I went to law school and I'm like you as well. But the
Mm.
only thing is not even your friends. The thing that calms me down and that I spoke about on my channel, the
Mm-hmm.
thing that we are moving away from is being able to actually use God's words
Mm.
to calm ourselves down.
Mm.
We're
Mm.
listening to so much of secular society these days that we've forgotten that God says, "My yoke is easy
And my burden is
and
light.
my load is light."
Mm. Mm.
You know,
I will add on to that. I don't think that we recognize his, and I'll say his because I understand God in that way. But you can say I don't think we are, or many of us, and I see you, Seattle Black veteran. I'll bring you up next. Um, recognize the divinity within us.
oh,
You understand what I'm saying? If people understood that there is the divine, the creator in you, present in you. You
yes.
were formed by him is the way I understand it, but that he lives in you, that you have that special piece of like beyond understanding supernatural, like in that spiritual DNA that is in your body. I
Yes.
think we would first of all treat each other better by recognizing the divine in one another, but we would be better to ourselves. I think you're right. I think the God relationship is one, but I think understand God loves you just because you're you. This understanding that we get from human beings as love being conditional and earned and all that, that's
Yes.
tainted. God loves you just because you're you, just as you are, just as He conceived you and put you in your mom and came to the earth to do whatever He had for you to do. But I think, like you're saying, and I'm kind of you just piggybacking, there's a less awareness of this on I think maybe on a consistent basis. Like you
That's
will
right.
know it, and you will sometimes. Oh, that's why I be down with them Catholics. Though I'm not Catholic, but they go to mass every day.
We forget. And then the final point is
Yes,
she
ma'am.
was so badly trolled. She
Yes.
was called masculine. She was called, they told her she looked like a man. They told her she was too old to be Miss America. Now, this is her. But do you not remember that even in some aspects of YouTube, there are people who still say things like that? That
Yeah.
if you're the danger zone, no man's land, blah 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 blah, and women do it too to
Yeah.
men, right?
And
Women
to
do it
each
too.
other. And
We
to
do
each
it to
other.
each other. Exactly. We don't realize that this, no matter how thick skinned you are, I'm very confident. But still, when I see one comment calling me fat,
Yeah.
it hits me.
Yeah.
It might be just for 5 minutes, but
No,
it
but
hits
it
me.
touches you. You're like, whoa,
Imagine getting that all the
the
time.
time.
So, as people
Mm,
watching, please stop trolling, because you might, and stop saying mean things to people, because you just don't know what
absolutely.
headspace they're in.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point. I think you're
That,
right. I
that's my
think,
final point.
yeah, and I appreciate you. Thank you for coming up. You see her name. I'm gonna go full so everybody can follow her, please. Naked Truth, Annie. The cream. That's how you come up on YouTube.
No, I'm the naked truth. I'm at Annette's Worldview, but
And
my name
okay,
is Annie the Cream.
okay, just kidding. Just
Take care,
You see her
darling.
in the chat.
Good
You see
job,
her in the
Suzette.
chat. But big up yourself. Thank you for joining all the way from the UK at 5 a.m. in the morning.
I
Appreciate you,
know.
sis. I'm gonna bring up Sia.
Insomnia, insomnia.
I love it, and I thank you for your support. I hope to visit your channel now and actually
Thank
catch
you.
your streams. But thank you for joining and thank you for those great
Most
points of
definitely.
insight. And I'll talk to
Thank
you
you.
soon. All right, my darling.
Bye,
You take care.
Suzette. Bye,
All right.
Seattle.
God bless you. All right.
God
Take
bless,
care.
sweetheart.
Awesome sauce. No, she made some very good points. That
Very good point.
trolling stuff is real.
It's
Real.
very
Let me get
real.
to a couple of these super chats. Thank you very much, y'all. This is the Seattle Black veteran. Y'all see his name gone over there. Um, some people saying they think maybe foul play might have been involved. Anybody
Mm,
could have broke the no. I want to see it too, but I
interesting.
don't think so. I don't know. I got to see the facts, but this is what they're telling us based on allegations, what allegedly happened, what the police are saying. That's what we can go by for now. But I hear you. Yeah. Let me get to this super chat before you begin, sir. Thank you for your patience.
No worries, my sister. No worries. Take your time.
Uh, Tatosh says, for me, it was my brother. He felt led to come over and didn't know I was sitting in my apartment over the same issue. He told me, oh my Jesus. There's a lot of people thinking about this. I think they said like 1 in 4. I can't remember where I saw it. I think it might have been a Pew, but people had never been considering this like years ago. You would see like 1 in 20, 1 in 50, but it's crept up. And like I said, particularly among Black and Brown communities, the swing has not been going down. For us, it's going up. This is something, again, that was very taboo once upon a time when we were mostly, all in the church or all identified as Christian. We would never do that. God abhors this. God would never bring you into heaven. There was this big, taboo around it. Now, more and more people, like I said, are in distress and no one knows. No one knows. So we got all these people that are not finding a way. Thank you so much, Venus, the creative. No comment, just love. Like I said, it's a little bit of a heavy topic. I'm kind of glad we're doing it like kind of after work, so y'all don't be at work thinking about this and whatnot. Pray tonight, definitely. I'm gonna drink some more tea before I go to bed.
Why not?
But Seattle Black veteran, what you got to say, sir? What are your thoughts about the subject?
Oh yeah, that's it's a tragic thing to hear. And it's really interesting, Suzette. You my sister from another mother, because this is a topic I got to bring up with Black veterans. Um,
Mm.
you know, so let's go to Hollywood, where this beautiful young lady was um, doing her thing. That place is a really vicious circle. Um, you can work your behind off and still be on a B list. And like you say, when you get past 30 in Hollywood, a lot of these guys got this money and they would start trying to look at you like, you're insignificant. And if you want more, you want us to treat you like deserves to be treated. But you want us to treat us this way, then you're going to have to jump through these hoops right here. And that's like this.
Casting couch.
Exactly, exactly. Because you even look at that in the rap world, you hear that same thing with these young men, right? So yeah, and then like you say, now with the social internet, she's Louise, man. You know how it is, sister. You see how some of those people in my dear brother, the lead attorney's chat they get crazy in there.
They be
But
crazy. I
yeah,
shouldn't read the chat. I didn't know that at first. At
yeah,
first, I was reading it,
I
and I
was
was
like
like,
you.
I shouldn't read this.
Exactly,
This is not
exactly,
good for my mental health. People say whatever they want to say. They
exactly,
could be, barely, they don't look good. They don't have this. They don't have that. But they feel like they gonna criticize you
exactly,
and tear you
exactly,
down. Thank you,
exactly.
Gaston. Just real quick, to if anyone is contemplating any kind of self hurt, there is the prevention line there. So please, you can text, you can call if this is something that you are currently dealing with. Thank you, Gaston's World. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
And I hope you
Hmm.
don't mind too, because I'm going to use a little of your clip on my, because
Hmm.
I got to do one. And I tell these veterans, I don't talk to them just about how the cost of system is brutal. And like you say, when you have achieved what you think is so much, and you have this other thing to jump through, and like you say, in the social internet thing now here, you don't have to have a face. But I would say this, and I believe this: God says, "Seek and I shall find." If it takes me a lifetime to seek to find, then I'm going to follow that word, because we are men. We all have, and that means women, and we put
Yeah,
all in the
yeah,
same
I'm
boat.
with you.
And we are all not perfect. But the thing is, you have to seek that. You really, I mean, I'm going to tell you honestly, this is my real story. I'm 100% disabled veteran. A 90%, if not 100%, came from being major depression, total depression, introvert, all the depression things you can think of, in the PTSD. So, look, I was fighting this for 30 years, and it was a rough road. But just because you're over 30 don't mean. The lead attorney said this: if you're over 40, you have wisdom to depart to someone. Understand this: the internet can give you education, but it cannot give you wisdom. You have to be out there listening to the people. Find whatever religion you want to find, but seek thyself and understand that you are worthy of being here. God would have not put you here if He didn't believe that. He wants you to believe it. A lot of people, let me tell you, I've been in a corner where nobody, I believe, could have helped me, but I had to keep looking. I went to every church possible to look, but there was some foundations that were in the Bible that kept me going. And another one: look back on yourself at you're 20 and tell yourself how great you are. You're here. You're 30 years old and you got a lot to live. I'm 58. I've been through it. I was a drill sergeant. I was a correction officer. I was a police officer. I've been in leadership position roles. But as going through all that, I watched people really come into their own soul and really commit themselves. Commit yourself with love. Get up in the morning, look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you and I'm worthy of being here. And understand this: when you come to my channel, go Seattle Black Veteran, we won't be talking about just making your benefits. We want to have you mentally healthy. I will tell you any question that you have, I will seek and I will find it for you. But I want you to keep knocking and keep looking and understand you're beautiful. And I think in the Bible somewhere it said, Sister Susan, you are beautiful and worthy in my eyes. So
Fearfully and wonderfully made.
there you go, my sister. And so I love you so much, and I enjoy your page, and I wish you nothing but success. And I want
I,
your heart not to be heavy tonight, but
Thank
I
you.
understand it.
I know yours can be
Ooh,
a difficult journey as well, dealing with veterans, because it's a similar type of sense of worthlessness or
yes,
not, being understood or not living up to expectation.
exactly,
There's a lot of that, I think, across the board in society,
exactly,
even among imposter syndrome high achievers. I think there's
exactly.
this sense that people, I don't know if maybe marketing, I was just thinking about some of what you just said just prompted me to think about like how we're constantly being marketed to want more, to
Exactly.
want that new vehicle, that jag, that this. You don't want that, you want to be there. You don't
Exactly.
want this house, you want that. You don't want that vacation, you
Yeah.
want that. Like this constant kind of like drilling into your mind that your life is not good enough, right?
Exactly. Can I
That,
tell you? Go ahead,
go
please.
ahead.
Please, please, please. Go ahead. Finish. I want you
No,
to
I was
finish.
just saying that I'm thinking about there was once upon a time where people were not only grateful, but in a sense satisfied, as they put it, with their lot. They had a lot more respect for providence, and
Yeah.
they understood that not everybody was going to be a millionaire. Not everybody was going to live in the big house by the beach.
Yeah.
But that has been sold so fervently and imprinted on the minds, particularly for those, I think, in the digital age. Maybe if you're under 30, even under 40, but maybe mainly under 30, there
Yeah.
has been this constant in your face marketing, unless you have been on off of social media, not on social media, or your
Mhm.
parents kind of limited that. There's this constant, well, what are they doing, that plays within your mind. So
Exactly.
you are never like kind of, again, peace. You're never kind of sitting where you are without reflecting or comparing yourself to someone else. It's not like, I'm glad I have a roof. I'm glad I can pay my bills. I'm glad I have a car to drive or a job to go to. It's,
Mhm.
I am glad, but her job is better, or
Mhm.
her house is better, and I'm aware of it and it makes me feel bad. That kind of thing. It's very pervasive in our Western culture. And I think it
Yeah.
has a lot to do with why people don't feel worthy, although they are high achieving, high functioning,
Yeah.
rock stars. But in
Exactly.
their hearts, they feel like, again, because there's always going to be, that's how I think sometimes people who go into marriage, like, there's always going to be a finer girl. There's always going to be a finer man.
Yeah.
What they say, a woman turn 18 every day, so does a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you were constantly on this search, it's amazing once you get that realization that what they don't have, what you don't have, or what other people, excuse me, have, is not better. It's what you do with what you have,
Exactly.
and water your plants, water your
Exactly.
surroundings, instead of so much focus on everybody else. But it's
Yep.
so hard, and I'm saying it out loud, but I still suffer from it because I have to post, I have to be on social media, which I
We
wish
all
I
of that.
didn't,
We
because
all
I
of that.
feel so much better when I don't. When I
Yeah.
don't spend it in the morning and be
Hmm.
right away, and I do my little meditation, my little prayer, I feel better.
Exactly.
And then it
Exactly.
doesn't consume so much of my day once I get going on other stuff.
Yeah.
But this beautiful yet, what should I say, problematic technology that
Oh,
is designed to keep your eyeballs on it,
exactly.
they win every time they have your attention.
Yep.
It's again, sometimes it's not us, it's not our free will in a sense.
Exactly. You're right. And
We're programmed. We're
exactly
programmed.
because
But what were
what
you gonna
they.
add? Sorry.
Oh
Mhm.
no, please. I'm sorry to interrupt you. And you're right because in some philosophies that I was reading like this. But one, I would say technique. When you wake up in the morning, be, have quietness. Try to just let your brain relax, ease into your day, and don't think. That's the thing with some. We think about so much stuff, and like you said, we are programmed. That's why I call it television program. TV is a television program, so it's programmed to make you feel a certain way and do certain things. And you're right. In Hollywood, you can end up going down that proverbial rabbit hole if you don't catch yourself. Because you're always chasing. You're chasing money. You're chasing clout. You're chasing this. And one thing, one of the Buddhist monks said to me, he says, "You got a Rolex. Your friend got a Rolex, just like yours. Your friend gets his Rolex stolen. You don't feel bad about that. You're like, oh, too bad. When you get your Rolex stolen, you're really upset.
Yeah.
you're focused on that material thing so much
My goodness.
that you're not staying within the spirit of who you are.
My
And you
goodness.
start, we look at these dudes, PPF loans and all that. They focusing on materialistic things, and that's what happens in Hollywood.
In
And you don't
themselves, in their life partners, in
exactly,
all kinds of ways. You cannot focus. Money come and it go. You could be on
exactly,
top of the hill today and at the bottom tomorrow.
exactly.
Like the way this thing is, America ain't got no real safety net like that.
Yeah,
Like tomorrow, you could be like, oh my God, I'm homeless. Like
exactly,
the way
exactly.
things are materially is the
Mhm,
core values, the
mhm.
core character. That's what you should be searching for within
Exactly,
yourself and for within others, for
exactly,
partnership with others. But
exactly.
instead, they got us programmed that height,
Um,
weight, and dress size.
yeah,
That
yeah,
all of that is paramount. Not that it's not important, but it's paramount
exactly.
as opposed to um, I won't
This,
say trivial. It is a very, very poisonous mentality. And
yeah,
it has a lot of people choosing wrong. And a
exactly,
lot of people, even though when they have everything, they still feel empty.
exactly.
This is the thing. It don't
Yeah.
ever feel that emptiness. That emptiness is a spiritual emptiness.
Mhm.
As Annette was saying, it is the emptiness of not knowing your creator. That's where it starts, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah.
But
Look,
it's deep. Go ahead, sir.
no, you're right. Look within yourself and understand. I'm gonna tell you, I went from coming out making my almost 6 figures a year to homeless for a week, sleeping in my
Mhm.
car. That actually kind of educated me, and it actually let me know my strengths. Don't give up on you unless you know your strength. And like I say, seek while you're there. You find the best person you are when you're not surrounded by all the garbage that you think you need.
Exactly.
And actually, when you look at a woman, look at the substance of this woman. Who is she? What is she about? And same with the woman looking at a man. You know, if like you say, if you're looking at a man going, oh, he's got a Jaguar, oh, he's got a Benz, and the Benz gets wrecked tomorrow, then what?
Exactly. Or his biceps ain't big no more. What's up?
Yeah, he got some implants on his biceps, and they're not really his or whatever.
I'm like, the way we talk about physicality is like everybody
Oh,
gonna be young forever. It's the
no,
craziest thing in my mind. But it also, and to tie it into this conversation, it is so tied to happiness and identity that we have to be very careful. I'm not saying don't be healthy. I'm trying to get healthy. I'm not saying don't lose weight. I'm trying to lose weight. You feel me? But I feel like you can sometimes let that stuff rob you of your right now happiness. Like
yeah,
if you don't lose another pound, you're never gonna be happy ever again. That's
yeah,
a question I want us to ask ourselves because
exactly.
some of it again is like the constant drip 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 or the constant drumbeat of you're not good enough from commercials
Exactly,
from
exactly.
advertisers have
Hmm.
people really in their own mind. I don't have the six pack. I don't have the right
Oh man.
look. I don't have this. So I'm less worthy or I'm
Mhm.
not worthy at all. This woman looked like almost like
Oh
a
man,
prize,
beauty.
that any man would want. And because
Exactly.
people want to be mean and, just they
Yeah.
comment on her age, they comment on her body size, they comment on all these things.
Oh
And again, the
man.
human being is still the human being behind the keyboard.
Exactly.
Um, she again, I don't know her support system. Like I said, I only heard Rachel, the lady from The Bachelor, talk about knowing her, and the guys on the Access Hollywood talked about her coming to work and like she was a little sister to them and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
She's
those lonely at the top is a real comment.
that's
Lonely at
true.
the top is a real comment. And again, if your dating life ain't like what you want it to be, it's a lot there. It's a
Yeah.
lot there.
And
It's a
plus her
lot
beautiful
there.
heart.
So
It
it
is.
hurts me to think about it, but at
And
least, like I said, maybe someone who can hear this can say, "Wait, do I think like that? Am
yeah.
I,
Yeah.
product of that type of thinking? Because it's constantly coming at us. I'm not blaming you guys. I'm not. It's not a place of judgment, but we have to just create the awareness that we constantly are comparing with the FOMO, the fear of missing out,
Yeah.
or looking at the highlight reel of the next person will have you hating your own life. It's real, guys. We have to be very aware of.
And can I say this too is
Sure.
um while you're out there, always seek help. Don't ever be embarrassed about that. I've had a psychiatrist for almost 10 years. So don't be embarrassed about that. Veterans, women, even if you're not there, always seek that help. there's a place you can go. Suzette Share's going to give you a phone number. And if you come to my page, I'm going to put a phone number for veterans. If you're a veteran, go straight to the VA hospital, even if you've never been there. You don't have to have any percentage. Go to the VA hospital and say you need some help with a psychiatrist or talk with somebody. And don't let that be embarrassing to you, because that makes you stronger. That helps you get to understand what's going on with you so you can
Absolutely.
proceed and live a life that God wants you to live.
Man, if our people would only wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm gonna go to the doctor.
Yeah. I'm
I'm gonna
tired
go
of
to the
this.
therapist. Or, well, in any way it applies. I
Exactly.
think we'd be just so much better in our family. When I was talking to my mom about this, I was like, Mommy, I could have done a therapist a long time ago
Tell you,
because, like I said, post undergrad, law school, first this, first. I was like, man, I really, really struggled in my own self to try to find the peace again and to
yeah,
try to make sense of what was happening to it on my own.
that's
It would
beautiful.
have saved me a lot of time and a lot of tears had I had support. And
Yeah,
not just like you can't say everything to your family. That's another thing. And I feel bad for her mom. Certain things you
yeah,
wouldn't say to your mom. You have to say it to a therapist. You have to say it to like a stranger
exactly.
because you can't, you would want to be able to say everything, but you can't, you don't want to put no pressure and
Yeah,
be vulnerable to that extent sometimes with the ones that love you the most. It's not practical because we
yeah,
all keep up a face, right?
exactly,
With mom, dad, brother, sister, them, and all that. So the
exactly.
therapist is a great neutral, stranger, third party that
Yeah.
don't know you, don't know your people, and
Hmm.
is doesn't have that all that history with you to judge you, so
Yeah,
that you could properly express your emotions. So I salute you, my brother. I know,
that's what she.
on the and like I said, in the veteran world, this is a
Oh,
big issue. This is a
yeah,
huge issue, and so
yeah,
they need resources like you to point them in the right direction, encourage them, and seek help, especially if it's at the extreme where they're thinking about doing something to themselves.
exactly.
Um, but keep it up. Keep it
I
up.
thank you, my
We're in
beautiful.
a fight. We really are.
Well,
The souls of our people, for real, for real,
as
for real.
always, you bring up some wonderful topics. I'll be like, this lady's reading my mind here because I got to talk about this as well. But yeah, you're so right. And, and listen to what Suzette said as well. You know, I had, at probably every time they weren't pushing it on her, we're looking for success for you. You can't go to a psychiatrist. But do you see how she said? She kept pushing. She kept going. She kept moving forward. Society will beat you down like gravity will beat you down. But
Mhm.
you get up and keep going. And I will tell you at 58, if I look back on myself, I could have did some more things different. I would have, but I would say this: I'm still alive and kicking. That's what's
Amen.
important,
We're here.
So yeah, you're
We're
here. And I'm
here.
gonna
I
tell you
mean,
what,
people don't look at that as a victory. I'm like,
oh
after this type of
man,
pandemic,
man,
just celebrate that we're here. I was thinking,
yeah.
God, I'm here to see and witness this thing tonight. I'm thinking like there's so much gratitude just in little stuff now.
Oh
For
man,
me anyway, that we
yeah.
need to think when you start specifically with the little things
Hmm.
in a prayer, a gratitude prayer in the morning or gratitude prayer at night, it will
Yeah,
help refocus you, center you off of self and center
exactly.
you off of material want, right?
Hmm.
When you start looking at how there are people that didn't wake up, but beyond that, people that can't swallow, people that can't do this, people that
Man,
can't do that, all
yeah,
kind of stuff, they deal with, and
yeah.
you have your right mind, thank you, God, and
Hmm.
sitting up in front of your computer talking with somebody, like my prayers and my thank yous are very simple now. I'm like, yes, I want this, that, and material, but I'm like, I'm not gonna let that
Yeah.
in any way diminish all the beauty that I do have,
Oh
all the
man, you're so.
gifts and all the mercies that I do have. It is
Hmm.
very easy to want more, but I just gotta stop sometime and be like, God, thank you. I
Yeah.
got a working brain, heart, lung,
Mhm.
everything. This is a gift.
And you got
This is
this
a
beautiful
gift.
show. You put these people on. It's great. And I'll give you one more interesting fact to let you know how
Mhm.
deep I was into the rabbit hole. 10 years.
Mm.
At this present time, I am taking 16 pills a day, and most of those are for pain to keep the pain off of me.
Wow.
I
Wow.
used to run cross country. I used to run marathons. Now I can't even run a mile without being in serious pain. So
Wow.
if you're dealing with all that, On top of I couldn't sleep at night because, like you say, it was like you want these things and they're not happening. They're not materializing. What's going on? And you start getting upset about that, and you start feeling a certain way. All right, when you start feeling a certain way, I want you going to seek a doctor. I want you going to grabbing somebody. I know sometimes it's harder to talk to your closest ones because you're scared to get the response that you don't want. Find that and understand. Oh, my biggest thing, and my sister Suzette's so right. The biggest gift that you get in life, and that's waking up.
Man.
You wake up, and then the second one is you can have choices of what you want to do with your life. All right. So with all those little monsters rolling around, we got to kick those aside and start thinking about moving forward. Every day we can be in the same thing, but every day is not the same. Every day is invented for you to make changes and to enjoy the gift that was given to you as life. And like Suzette said, wake up and put that in your prayers, gratitude. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for giving me a sound mind. Thank you for blessing my spirit and my soul. Thank you for
The
letting me have all
food,
the
the
physical
air.
factors that I have. And you say that that's the beginning of what you were started for. People ask me, well, Dave, I know this is depressing and it's very upsetting. I'm like, it is very upsetting and it's depressing. He says, so what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm put here for a reason. So at 58, I'm still trying to find out what that general reason is that God has put me here for. So if you're 30, 32, 40, stop that crying. Let's get on your feet. Get off your backside. Get on your feet or get on your knees and start praying.
And there's much more for you to do, sir. And I'm sure for those that you help, they will know and they will verify your reason.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
appreciate keep up the faith and keep up the good work. Keep the faith for sure. And thank you for coming up.
Always a blessing,
Appreciate
my
y'all.
beautiful
Support his
sister.
channel, the Seattle Black Veteran. I'm going to drop the link one more time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, beautiful.
Coming up and sharing your story. Very powerful. Thank you so much. Like I said, people could complain, but we're here.
We're still here.
We're here. We're trying
and
to
I got
see.
choices.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I can get off my backside and start making changes. Yeah.
We ain't in. I don't mean to criticize the whole country, but like if you was in Afghanistan, you have a whole different life. If you was in fill in the blank, you'd have a whole different life. Let's give thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's give thanks. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go.
All right,
Thank
dear
you
love.
so much.
Keep up your
God
beautiful
bless
stuff.
you. I'll
Thank you
see
for
you
having me on.
soon. Thanks for your
Yes, ma'am.
support. Thank you,
Always.
the Seattle Black
Always.
Veteran in the house. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Later,
Take
beautiful.
care. Bye. I can't believe it. I look at the time. It's 12:30. I got work tomorrow. Hold on. Let me see. Like, comment, and share. Thank you, Seattle Black Veteran. I'm gonna drop you down. Like I said, I'm gonna make one or two more comments. Flowing, like I said, it is more of a tribute show to honor and put some respect on the name Cheslie Kryst. It is more about creating a memory that we can learn from. Seeing her through two lenses: the fullness of her life, and then the pain, the hidden pain that nobody knew. There's two truths. Two things can be true: that you can have a full and beautiful life, and that you can also have hidden pain that nobody else would know. So that harsh dichotomy is one that we wanted to spotlight tonight, to let you know that if you're feeling this, sometimes that dissonance feels strange. Sometimes that dissonance feels like, I'll just put the mask on and go back out into the world. But if you're feeling that serious dissonance, get help, seek help for when, the night comes down on you and you're thinking all kinds of stuff. That's when you know emotionally it is not something that you have to tolerate. It actually is a signal that you probably need to reach out. You probably need to reach out. So if you're feeling that type of dissonance, this is your wake-up call. This is your wake-up call. Get a therapist, get a psychologist, psychiatrist, whoever you need to help break up that dissonance, because life is worth living. Life is worth living. Yes. But oftentimes, like I said, we can get clouded. We can get bombarded by the messages on our computers, on our phones, by people we love. The great expectations can make you feel as if somehow you're not living it well enough, or you're not worthy enough for a good life. So we got to be careful. We got to be very aware that that's a lie. That is the untruth that literally can slowly chip away at our peace. And we got to know that we can always get help. We can always seek counseling, therapy, like I said, and that we can redraw the boundaries of our mind. We can wait. We was thinking like this. I can pull that back. I'm yet still alive, so I can actually rewire, reframe, right? Reproject what it is that I think and how I think. It's a wake up call, y'all. Somebody need to hear that. That no matter what you are in the midst of, the best is still yet to come. It's not over. You're going to be able to pull out of it. You will be able to pull out of it. You will be able to move forward, because sometimes it seems like at our darkest hour, this is it. It's not over. It's not over. There's somebody needs to hear that you can get help to rebalance, right? That dissonance, that happy at one point in public, happy with your friends, happy with your family, but alone in pain, alone in distress, right? This is real. And we Black people, we good at hiding it. My God. I'm not gonna tell everything. Y'all, we good at hiding it. We're very good. And it's not a critique, it's an observation. We very good at saying, oh, I'm fine. Oh, yes, girl. Yeah. You ever have friends? I'm like, they're having a whole conversation and you looking around and you like, girl, I know what's really going on in your life. And I don't mean it as a critique. I just mean it as observation. But they're able to hold on and look the part and still be put together. And I think in a good way, part of it is us just surviving as Black people in America. It's a survival technique. Some of that hard exterior that is completely, representative, that has to go out and go to a job, even though, you deal with certain battles, you deal with, microaggressions or whatever, fill in the blank. Even though you deal with those things, we've had that armor on for a long time, but it gets heavy. It gets very heavy. I see you, Jason. I see you bring up in a second. Let me just read a couple more of these. Oh, Nellie says, talk about it. I'm a caseworker providing services to, wow, look at that, resettled Afghan refugees. The married women have an overwhelming sense of hopelessness. Wow. Ooh, they're completely reliant on their husbands. Interesting that I would mention. I didn't mean the whole, country of Afghanistan is terrible. I'm just saying the circumstances would be so different. So we really, really, really got to be aware of that. Thank you, WJH 2002 says, a beautiful life is not always full. I see both of you. Jason, I'm going to bring you up. Simsi, I'm going to bring you up just momentarily. A beautiful life is not always full, and a full life is not always, ooh, deep words. Thank you. Let's see. I didn't know about this, TTO. I didn't know about this. Wow. I did not know this. Mayor of Maryland as well. Wow. Thank you. WT Fong adds, you're amazing and ignore the world telling you that you are not. Peace and joy. Hey, Auntie Feifei. Appreciate you coming through. Control your mind. That's what it really comes back to. Not easy, but if you're not dead or life in prison is not over, I hear you. Yes, to this beautiful soul. Thank you, Ivan. I'm going to bring up my brothers. I see you. Welcome. I see you. Welcome. Let me do a wide screen so we can kind of see each other. How you doing tonight, guys? It's late night chat. How are you, Simsia? How are you, Jason?
I'm chilling. Greetings from Germany. Go ahead, bro.
Who wants to start? I'm just, like I said, this is like a flow type feel. So what do y'all think? I'm open. I just want to listen to what your opinions are.
Are you able to hear me, Suzette?
Yes, welcome.
Hey, salute, Suzette, salute, what the funk. You know, this is a sad story. You know, it's sad, and you know, I don't know much about Cheslie. She's here in North Carolina, you know, the same state that I'm in, and I've seen people who are attorneys, or I've seen one person who I know that's an attorney speak great things about her, about, you know, the grace that she showed her as a fellow Black woman attorney without even knowing her, but she seemed like she had a really kind heart. You know, I think there's just something to be said about this, the pressure to perform that happens in society overall. You know, as I've observed some of the other nations around the world, they don't have the same work ethic that America has. And there's like this pressure for you to like constantly to be working, to be grinding in order for you to be like running on this hamster wheel. And it's hard to say that you ever really accomplish anything as a result of these pursuits. I'm very much big into documentaries and just kind of seeing like where the tide ends up turning, where people's mindset end up shifting. And one of the things that I've heard and observed is that even when we changed from like where consumerism changed from the gold backed currency to currency that was backed, there was a fiat currency that was not backed by any natural resource. There were all these marketing efforts that told people to go out there and buy this and buy that. And there was this one young lady, she was a journalist, and she was documenting how everyone is projecting this opulent lifestyle over time. Everything from like people buying cars in China, and I mean, it's all kinds of different things that are marketed to us in order for us to feel like we've elevated ourselves to a specific level. And in the documentary, she literally took these pictures and she looked back at them like years and later, and she saw that a lot of the people who were chasing these things, either they hit a wall where they were no longer able to achieve whatever it is that they were pursuing, but they found some kind of resolute within themselves to say, you know, I'm okay without having these things. I don't have to have this opulent life. I can be regular. And I think there's something to be said also about these companies, these organizations. A lot of them will not allow their children to have the technology that they market on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, yes.
You know, so we hear about these executives, these people that work in the social media companies. There's a documentary, Social Dilemma, that speaks to this.
Yeah.
Where it's the same thing. If you think about drugs, right? You know, a drug dealer is not going to allow their children to do the drugs that they're selling on a day-to-day basis. They refuse to have cell phones in the households. They refuse for their children to consume the same stuff that they go to work and push every single day. So I think that it's important for people to be connected way beyond anything on social media. Because even me myself, you know, I try to monitor the way that I feel when I'm looking at Instagram and I'm looking at these things. And I say to myself, it's like, what is this feeling that I'm feeling? Why does it seem like everyone is living this opulent life? It makes no sense. And the last thing I'll say about the young lady, if we really think about the beauty industry, like, would you say like the beauty pageant industry is kind to women in general? Everything from the age of maybe 5 when they're competing in pageants all the way up until their adulthood. You know, we can't specifically say that. And so,
oh no, good point. If she was insecure or she was already feeling that pressure, she felt it to the 10th degree by being in the pageant world, because from the ounces of fat on your tummy, on your chin, how your jawline, and then she had this big mane, beautiful hair that wasn't like, the Eurocentric, standard of beauty. So yeah, you're right. And I'll add that to being a pageant girl. That's a great point, Simsia. That's a very good point. Wow. But yeah, I agree with you. I thank God even my brother never really let my niece hold a phone or a tablet in her first 2 years. Like, she don't know tablet, she know books. And I'm grateful because the child, when she see you with her eye, like you could see her looking at your face and trying to understand what your body language and your facial expression is saying. And so many people are losing that, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's designed that way. What would you like to add, Jason? I put you don't put the government name up there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm calling from the cell phone, so yeah, the government name's up. I think this is one of those things that in society we kind of we'll mourn about for about 10 days, and then the next thing we have to mourn about is something that we mourn about. But I think we have a unique opportunity in this space to kind of address something that needs to be addressed, and that is, we have like this suicide hotline, but the Black experience is truly unique.
Deletion hotline.
I'm sorry,
But go ahead, sir. Yes, okay.
Deletion hotline. But I think with this space, in the manosphere, and also like with the women in this space, we can actually get a 1-800 number and have it kind of manned by Black people. And it doesn't mean that, because a lot of times everyone is afraid to kind of do it because they don't have the degree. But a lot of times the people who are manning those hotlines, they don't have diplomas. They're just somebody to speak to. And I think it gives us a chance in this space to actually build a Black platform for Black people to actually have these kind of conversations, because let's face it, if you call that hotline, a lot of times you're speaking with somebody from a different race, and they don't understand the struggle of what it is to be Black. The Black experience is filled with PTSD from childhood to adulthood, to working in corporate, or to working lower level, or to just trying to make it on a day-to-day basis, trying to make it with your family, trying to make it in arguments you might be having with the wife, or not feel it being fulfilled with your husband. I think these are certain conversations that can only be kind of had with other Black people. And instead of this just kind of being a thing that we mourn about for a few days and forget, what are some of the processes, or what are some of the steps we could do as people in this space to actually build a platform for people to call in and talk to actual people, the same way that you have the deletion hotline? I don't think it would be that
very
difficult.
Good point. Wow. That's a very good point. Hopefully, and I don't know, I'm like, hopefully these people have, cultural competence at least. You ain't got to be Black, but you got to have the cultural competence to know. But I'm curious. I don't know. YouTube? I don't know much about it. Go ahead.
I was wondering, like, could we actually build this in this space on YouTube? I mean, there's enough platforms, and there's enough, it's thousands of dollars that are put into this space. I mean, probably even hundreds of thousands, if we're really honest. Like, how hard would it be to actually just build a platform for people to call in, people of color to be able to call in and be able to,
yeah.
It wouldn't have to be face to face. It could be like an actual hotline. Like, could we actually buy a 1-800 number for people to call
to do it? Manned? I don't think it's impossible. I think you would probably have to tie it to maybe some sort of African American like organization, just so we could have a. Pardon?
The government won't make it for us.
Oh, no. I'm talking about organization like, I wouldn't say NAACP, but you know what I'm saying? Like a organization to marry it. No, not so much.
I think this space is powerful enough that it could actually be something that this space takes a hold of. I think
in its own self.
Yeah, I think this is actually, it's not an NAACP group. I think this YouTube space has grown enough in the last 2 years that it can start taking on projects like this. And if that were to happen, it would be astronomically beneficial for the Black community, and truly put, I think, a lot more light into this space.
I hear you. Nellie Child says that's very true. A lot of those operators are social worker undergrads. Wow. They report to a supervisor with a master's degree. Really? In social work when they have an extremely challenging case. Did not know that. Wow. Thank you. Deanna, nice to see you, says real connections are necessary. It's something that I think is worth exploring. Yeah. I think with some people that I've met through the space, I could see them wanting to be involved in something like that. Like I said, I'm big lawyer. I think structure first. So it has to have some degree of structure so that people could plug in. But I love the idea of it. I think the cultural competence part of it is super important when it comes to our community. Because even if it's a doctor, I can't even say I have a case yet, but I'm investigating a case I get the person is anonymous, so I would say that that has to do with sickle cell,
Hmm.
and the way the person was treated is because of lack of cultural competence. That's how I'm looking at it, and I'm actually investigating it now, a medical possible medical malpractice case. But I hear what you're saying. Your point is very, very, very
It's
well
just a
taken.
solution. So she's not. So it's not like she's just forgotten in 10 days. And it seems like
No,
there's
I hear
because
you,
there's
and
so
it's
many
not like,
channels talking about this
hmm,
right now. Like there's so many people
yeah,
like who have brought this up. So I'm like, okay, let's think of a solution. Let's figure out something so it's not that we're all speaking about this as a woe is me situation, and let's turn this
right.
horrible thing into some alchemy that's something positive for the community.
No, what you make is a very, 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 very valid point. I think it would take maybe like a little bit of a think tank to kind of, like I said, work out the structure, if you will,
Yeah,
or the space and how it would be best utilized and how to plug people in different times, different, you know what I'm saying? Like getting the 800 number is the easy part, but
yeah.
I see it's not impossible. It's just
I
definitely not
think it's
impossible.
actually I think it would be actually very easy if we actually wanted it to be done. That's the part we have to really address as a community. Like, do we actually care enough to do this? Because it's something that
No,
I
it's
think
true.
all people of color would possibly say that we need. Because we're not really
Yeah.
getting it from the Black church. We don't have like a Catholicism mentality where we speak to somebody our things. And a lot of times we don't speak to therapists because they don't truly understand our plight, and we don't speak to the UI hotline because again they don't understand as well. So the logical thing would be we figure out a way to build something with people of color or speaking to people of color about some of the issues that they're going through. And we'll have like a
It
time
makes
limit. Like you got like a
no,
10
it
minute
makes
window.
certain it makes sense. What say you, Simsia? You want to add anything?
Nah, I mean, to me, and just really, I mean, these are great ideas, but in this specific situation, I'm just really perplexed, because like any box that anyone would have wanted to check in their life, it seemed like she checked them, you know, and to look at someone who seemed like they were checking all the boxes, and then there were a bunch of other people who were not as fortunate as lucky. It just makes you think that the things that we think should be valued, do they even really matter? Does it even really matter at the end of the day? And for someone to say that turning 30 is difficult, and one thing that I can say is that maybe something that I had to really just come to grips with was because I picked on people who were over 30 when I was a young man. When I had to face it myself, there was a little bit of that. Oh man, I finally have to accept it, and now I'm old. But I've also noticed in like my dating world, and something that I've noticed with women who are transitioning from 39 to 40, that it ends up being like a difficult time, and they become reclusive and they kind of shut themselves off from the world. And I don't know if that's the same exact feeling that you end up feeling, that I'm officially old now because I'm 40 and maybe I didn't achieve all the things that I wanted to. But these are just observations that I've made, and
First of
I
all,
I
you're not old at you 30.
no, 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 no. I'm saying
It's people who are watching who are 50 and 60 laughing out loud. I'm just gonna laugh out loud for them. Sorry, we pivoted a little bit away from the hotline, but I'm respecting the fact that you are sharing that reflective thought on her state of mind based on her article that she thought, whoa, it's over. And I think that pressure, and I'm telling you, people use or weaponize age a lot. And what I and the sweetness of it, and I don't say it just for you, but I'd be like, everybody think they're gonna be young forever. This is the rub. But you looking at a 60-year-old talking about, ha ha, 60-year-old, guess what you're gonna be? One day. A 60-year-old. And get this, I'm like, time is the master and the great equalizer, because everybody thinks they're going to be 22 and hot for the rest of their lives. I'm so sorry. That's not how life works. But I think when you're young, particularly, and if different age groups also weaponize age in a way. And that's one of the things I want to bring up on my male panel plug on Thursday at 5:30. Um, there's this whole wait your turn, uh, which I say the old school tends to believe in. And I think I've heard a lot of pushback from the younger, if you will, generation, the next, let's call it generation, about that, and how, wait for what? All you got on me is a couple years. I'm like, wait a minute. I can see both sides. I'm like right in the middle there. I can see both sides of that. But anyway, not to digress too much. We'll save that for Thursday. But yeah, this whole idea of importance of age as a reflection of success or desirability, I should say, is huge in terms of like why a lot of people have, a sense of unworthiness. And we got to be careful the importance that we give it, right? And I agree with you. Women turning 30, women turning 35, women turning 40, women turning 45, women turning 50. Like, I think the five, it's big. And it makes you really try to assess, and then you also place judgment on it based on society. You might judge it based on what you feel yourself, but oftentimes it's that comes from society saying you ain't nothing no more. So did you sit in that? Let me ask you, Simsia.
Which one?
Like,
Me turning 30?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because as a 18, 19, 20-year-old guy and having my coworkers who were 30, I would always pick on them as them being old, right? So then you kind of have to eat your
Lot of
words when
boy
you
to be
turn 30.
young,
It's
to
like,
be
oh
young and
man.
dumb. I love it.
I mean, I remember the day after turning 25, I felt something different the day after that, and I knew it then.
Yes.
You know, it's like
Yes.
I'm
No,
not
I
I'm not
think,
as young as I thought I was. You know?
yeah, and we're the youngest we're going to be today. We're going to get older tomorrow. This is life. Yeah, I think the whole um anti-aging industry, I can't, say I don't subscribe to, let me wipe my beauty creams on at night and do all this and that. There's just a lot of emphasis on youth and youthfulness in the American culture, like to the point of almost like worship. Like people in other cultures around the world, it's not so. Older, mature people are revered. For some reason, our American culture, the youth are the future, or not just the future, or they know more than us, kind of, and they're hot. So we're going to put them on a pedestal. Marketers, I think, started that. I don't know, but it's seeped into our somewhat, not everywhere, not everyone, but it's seeping into our, I would say, country, like ethos. It's a scary thing. But do you think we can get away from that? Do you think we can break that?
I don't know. I mean,
It runs deep, man.
only if we get rid of these devices. Honestly, you know, we become
Yeah.
disconnected
Yeah. Constantly
because
looking at young, nubile bodies can actually have that
n-
impact
n-
on you.
I
You
mean,
think-
there were like in this documentary, and I'll I'll post it in the private chat, the name of the documentary. But in this documentary, there were strange things like people taking etiquette classes in order for them to move around in these opulent circles, just to say that they move around in these circles, and people in Russia and China doing things like they've never seen before because of what they see on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So they're seeing things, you know, that are saying you need to have this vehicle, you need to have this kind of lifestyle. So
I
I
think
think we
that goes
really,
back to Jason's point. This type of platform, thank God for YouTube, is a if we use it correctly, both a solution and maybe like the counterpoint to mass media, to what I call just the gossip, which I say, um, I don't want to say power structure in media, but it's like feeding us baby food versus feeding us meat. I think this
mm,
The,
space can
the
be,
guyocracy.
again,
The guyocracy.
yes, thank you. I think no matter what, Lee could be like, Sue, you be doing too much heavy stuff.
you know what he said.
He'd be like, oh, when he first came in, it's gonna be a side show. There's gonna be Lee, everything is not happy dappy. Not all the time. When we have it, we have it. But we gotta take some time out sometimes to do some heavy lifting. But yeah, that's this space, I think. I see your comment, Nelly, saying it's possible. But I know, going back to Jason's point, I When I called for telehealth, I had to confirm that I was in the same state as my assigned therapist. All of this, yeah. So the system might need a little bit of redress, understanding what I'd like to research it actually more to see what their ratios are. But I agree with you, Jason. Going back to your point that here could be a space, a solution based um, resource with the right, I guess, structure or people understanding what their roles could be and would be.
Yeah,
A couple more comments. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead and read your comments. I think you're behind, so it's all good.
Okay. I was seeing let's see. Let's say, okay. So I had called the crisis hotline. I called once before when I was going through an extremely hard breakup. Oh wow. I talked to a young sounding white guy. I felt silly telling him my problem. That's what his point is. Exactly his point. That there might not be that kind of cultural competence. Oh, that was from before. The Naked Truth by Annette's World says, I'm 50 and I don't feel. Hello. I'm looking forward to the next 50 years. Hello. In the name of Jesus. Yes. I hear you, sis. The weaponizing of age is a product of pedophile culture. With many institutions and industries, especially the arts. I hear you. Hey, Tosh, you got to. I gotta think about that. That's a deep sentiment. Let me think about that for sure. Bringing that up. Wow. SWP Disciple says she must have been in a dark place. She was basically perfect. My goodness, that's what we think anyway. That's what we think. She was far from believing that about herself and living in a world that's tailor made for women. That's what that's what we think. That's not what she thought. My goodness, I know plenty of cats that would have broken their backs for someone like her. That see, this is when you're in your own mind, when you're in your own internal like bubble. That what should I say? Soundtrack that's playing inside your mind does not sound like everybody else's. It is like you're lost in that despair. It's not even close to this. Your point is well taken though, but that's not how she was thinking. Yeah, I hear you. Um I am up late. I went out last night. It is last night. Did a little event and on my Patreon. So I was like, you know what? I'm still gonna do my show. So I set it for late, and this is after hours with Suzette Speaks. Any last comments, guys? I actually should go to bed. This is like let's see.
Now that was it. I just wanted to come up and share that
Appreciate
because
you.
I feel like I believe that we are working harder than we have to because we're chasing things, and I think that that's the intended purpose that the people who are moving all the cards have for us. But I think that when you have an opportunity to not have anything, it can really help you understand that maybe the things that you think matter don't really matter that much. So.
I think so. I think you're right. I think pandemic woke us up a little bit. Some of us, it woke us up a little bit. Like, oh wait, we don't need this. Oh wait, I want to work from home. Oh wait, this all of that. Yeah, but what you're saying across the board, I agree with you that the conditioning that's done in this country from when you're young, it is quite. It can be if you're not sure of who you are, if you don't have a strong sense of self, strong parents, can be damaging because it's a constant comparison. Like Werner says, social media is right there in your face telling you that you don't measure up because the next person is grinding more than you or doing better than you. Yeah, it's getting deep. But your point is well taken. Thank you, Simcia. So I will see you on the mail panel on Thursday. I'll send you the link. Thank you so much.
Salute with the funk, and thank you again, Suzette.
Thank you. Thanks for coming up. I'm gonna go to bed soon. But any final comments from you, sir, before I let you go? But I wanted to give some final thoughts on how to express emotion before I sign off. But go ahead, sir. Did you have any final comments?
No, like I said, I'm just always trying to brainstorm solutions and like something that could actually end up being like a net positive from something negative. So, like I said, I just don't want this to end up being a thing that everyone sees, and then like 10 days later, like it's all forgotten about. Like there's been enough channels that have brought
we've moved on.
Maybe we could be let's think outside the box and try to think of a solution that benefits the Black community, because this is truly something that should have been made a long time ago, with all the millions of dollars that was poured into the Black Lives Matter, with all the millions of dollars that was poured into, NBA, like sport. Like, this should have been built for the community a long time ago. And I think
Long
this is a
time
chance
ago.
for us to address it. And since the community won't build it for us, let's use this YouTube space and build it ourselves and show the world that we don't need the gatekeepers to build our community. We can build our community in a positive way in this space here on YouTube and do the things that they should have been doing a long time ago.
I love it. I love the idea. I think it's actually
And then
incredible.
we can put a middle finger up at the same time, because our gatekeepers suck. Let's keep it 100.
Yes, no more gatekeeping. That's what it's about. Yeah. I appreciate you, and I love the idea. You got to speak it, and you got to, let's go. All right, sir. Good night. Good night. Good night. I was, like I said, I had prepared a couple slides. I'm going to add them to the stream, but I don't think I'm going to go that in depth. Maybe I will post these articles instead. It's hard to read. Let me see if I can do it at full screen. Take out this. Y'all see the Cash App at the bottom. Thank you for your support. This was a presentation I did about, I think it was a year. Oh, I don't know what year, but diversity, cultural competence, emotional intelligence. And I had done a slide on how to perceive and name the emotions in yourself and in others. And this is a simple exercise, and I know it's kind of hard to read, so I'll just read it out loud from my slides. But it says, this gentleman, James Pennebaker, has done 40 years of research into the link between writing and emotional processing. His experiments revealed that people who write about emotionally charged episodes experience a marked increase in physical and mental well-being. Listen what it says again. People who write about emotionally charged episodes, they experience a marked increase in physical and mental well-being. Moreover, in a study of recently laid off workers, he found that those who delved into their feelings of humiliation, anger, anxiety, and relationship difficulties were 3 times more likely to have been re-employed than the control group, right? So here's an exercise you can use to reflect through writing. You can do this every day, but it's particularly useful when you're going through a tough time or big transition, or if you're feeling emotional turmoil, or if you've had a difficult experience that you think you haven't quite processed. This has helped me, y'all. Okay, so the first bullet, set a timer for 20 minutes. Second bullet, using either a notebook or a computer, write about your emotional experiences from the past week. You can pick one, but from the past week, from the past month or year. Next, don't worry about making it perfect or readable. Go where your mind takes you. And then lastly, at the end, you don't have to save the document. The point is that those thoughts are now out of you and on the page. You hear it again? The point is that those thoughts are out of you and onto the page. So I want to encourage someone, if you are dealing with a situation that has caused you great emotional turmoil, first and foremost, go seek therapy. Go seek out. You can go to blackpsychologist.com, get you a Black psychologist, Black therapist, Black licensed clinical social worker, if that's your desire. If you want someone with cultural competence, find them. They exist. But if you have something that you're dealing with in the immediate present, maybe something that happened a year ago, last year, today even, one of the best things you can do for yourself is write about it. You don't even have to keep the writing. We're not talking about necessarily making a journal. Some people enjoy keeping it and looking back. But whatever you feel, wherever your mind takes you, just write about it. That will allow you to get it out of you and onto the paper. Right? And there has been studies that show outcomes for people who were just been able to express it. It has helped them move forward. So this is an exercise that you can try. You don't have to do this. I'm just suggesting, because we're talking about um, the dangers of emotional overload. This is something that you can try to help you process. Set a timer. Write in a notebook or on a computer about that emotional experience. Don't worry about other person's processing it and evaluating. Y'all hit the like button. This is just one way I've learned you can help yourself deal with some of these heavy issues, heavy experiences, right? Nellie Childs says, as a social worker, I get frustrated when I see self-proclaimed life coaches think they can help people better than social workers when they can actually do them harm. I agree with you. And I'm not a life coach. I hope you're not talking about me. I'm not a life coach at all. Far from, right? But I definitely want you, others like you, Nellie Child, and the experts to handle what you have expertise in 100%. Point people to the experts. Point people to the licensed clinical social worker. Point people to the therapist, right? The licensed psychologist, licensed therapist. Definitely. I hear you loud and clear. Thank you for being up here, Simcia. I see you, WT Funk. Thank you. Appreciate y'all coming up. I'm gonna read one more slide. Oh, you wasn't talking about me. Okay, just want to make sure. No harm, no foul. I just want to be like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I just want you to know that this is just, again, a lot of us don't know how to get it out. You know what I mean? So therapy first, therapist first, right? Mental health counselor first, right? And some of us are carrying some heavy burdens for some long periods of time. That's just, stacking on us. So it's about that time. Do I want to go to the last slide? Thank you, Mr. Real Estate. Always showing love. And you did your own stream. I was at my Patreon. No wonder, because you was doing your own stream, because you came on. No comment, just love. Thank you for your incredible support. I cannot thank you enough. Mr. Real Estate will also be one of my gentlemen on my all-male panel this Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Y'all hit the reminder button. I already have the stream. No, do I have the stream made? No, I'll make it tomorrow. And y'all can hit the reminder button and set the reminder so you can come and talk about old school versus new school men. I'm ready. I want to hear it because we talk about male leadership in the homes, in our relationships, in our community. So we're going to talk about the old school approach versus the new school approach when it comes to that. 5:30 Thursday. Saturday, Gaston's World comes back at 12 noon. Saturday, we're going to be talking about why. This is so much lighter, guys, but not to make light. But Saturday is why do men ghost? Y'all been ghosted? Y'all been ghosted? I've been ghosted. So he's not going to be able to tell you the thousands of reasons, but we're going to make it a light conversation based on personal experience. Why do men ghost? Why do they disappear after you seemingly have like a very good connection? Why do men ghost? So the Manosphere edition will be this Saturday at 12, Thursday 5:30 with the gentleman all-male panel, old school versus, not saying versus. I say versus, but it's not versus, but critical thinking about one generation's approach versus another generation's approach and a myriad of subjects. So I can't wait to hear from the gentleman on Thursday. Wow, Nelly, this hurts. There are YouTubers who discourage people from reaching out to social workers. They provide their own sources. No. Hey, but before the billions, I'm getting like you. I'm doing like you in Gaston's World and Mr. Real Estate up late. Up late at night. Yes, y'all hit the notification. Thank you, Sunbreeze. Hit the notification bell. Since she probably one of my only moderators still up. Thank you very much. Poor RM is probably sleeping. Poor Gail is probably working. And Gaston was here earlier. So thank you to Sunbreeze. Thank you so very much for holding me down, making sure everybody hits that like button. But I have one more slide. Besides the writing, 20-minute writing, what did I put here? Because I had to shorten it. Thank you again, Mr. Real Estate. Yes, Before the Billions. Before the Billions will be one of my gentlemen also on Thursday for the discussion, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm out here trying to. Oh, Gaston, you still here? Okay, just kidding. Of all people, I definitely know you should be up because Gaston love a midnight show. Gaston love after hours. His best shows have been, I think, well, not all of them, but yeah, some of his best shows have been the 1 a.m. I cannot believe I'm up at this time. Tomorrow gonna be fun. Yes, Gaston World. Hear what you say? Let them know. Tomorrow gonna be fun. But yeah, the other part I wanted to just to highlight is language. Again, my screen is probably not the best. It looks better on my PowerPoint. Y'all hit the like button if you can, please. It looks better on my PowerPoint, but this screen, again, I might probably put it on the Patreon, is broadening your emotional vocabulary, how to perceive and name emotions in ourselves and others, right? So words matter. If you're experiencing a strong emotion, take a moment to consider what to call it. Okay, this is important. But don't stop there. Once you've identified it, try to come up with 2 or more words that describe how you are feeling. You might be surprised at the breadth of your emotions, or that you've unearthed a deeper emotion buried beneath the more obvious one. Here's a vocabulary list of emotional terms you can find more if you Google. So a lot of times people say, and this is what this means. A lot of times people say, I'm angry. And what they really mean is, if you look there, they're grumpy, frustrated, annoyed, defensive, spiteful, impatient, or disgusted. So one thing you want to do with emotions, instead of just stopping, and I do this with myself, is saying, I'm angry, I'm mad. Try to think of 2 other ways to explain, or 2 other emotions to describe what you're feeling. And you could actually quite possibly drill down on what you're actually feeling. Most people just stop with the mad, sad, glad. No. So if you look even at sad, I don't know if y'all can see it well, but sad, let me put it on. Is it on full? Yeah. Or one's with me and one's without me. Okay. So sad could be disappointed. Sad could be that you're mournful. Sad could be that you regret. Sad could be that you're actually depressed. Sad could be that you're paralyzed and can't make a decision. Sad could be pessimistic, tearful, dismayed, disillusioned. So there is more vocabulary that we can use, y'all, that will help us to really drill down on what we're feeling, so get to the bottom of what we're actually feeling. So try that exercise. Instead of just a sad, glad, mad, hurt. Look at the hurt list. Oh, can I make this bigger? It's full size already. No, that's bigger on my screen, but it's not on your screen. Hurt meaning jealous. Hurt, you could be betrayed. Hurt could be shocked. Hurt could mean isolated. You could actually be feeling deprived. You could actually be feeling victimized, aggrieved. You see the pattern there? So it's about more so getting comfortable and with different vocabulary, different language, so that you understand and others can understand your emotions, particularly if you're paired up. If you're with a partner, it's going to be very important, y'all, to be able to express yourself, to find the vocabulary, to better understand both what you think and what you feel to yourself, and for another person, so they can know how to help you and know how to reach you. I hope that helps somebody. I really do. I hope that helps somebody. But that's it. I'm not going to go into no teaching tonight. It's getting late, y'all. I hope y'all got something out of this. Again, a beautiful soul was lost. A beautiful soul that thought she was not significant to society, that she was running out of time. I agree with the sentiment that her circle, the Hollywood circle, probably had a lot to do with it. Her feelings of insecurity, her feelings of not being worthy, her feelings of being like less than, right? Not achieving enough. A freaking beauty queen model, a star, or a collegiate top division athlete, on top of a law degree with a master's, and still didn't feel like she was enough, or that she mattered, or that she was perhaps loved. So it is a big lesson. Miss Cheslie Kryst gave us a big wake up call. And I agree with WT Funk that we don't want to just, let it pass and not really get a good reflection from it. And I'll leave you with that. The check on your strong friends, the big takeaway from me is that I've been the strong friend. I am the strong friend. Those be the ones, y'all. The ones that look like they got all together. The ones that look like they're impervious to criticism. And then we be the most sensitive people, oftentimes. So not calling or not asking how they're doing, or not even Rachel from Bachelorette said, should I have pried more? Should I have taken more time to ask her about certain things? You can't go back. A lot of times there are no signs, so to speak. No visible ones. But we have to really be conscientious about listening, right? Verbalizing our emotions. Seeking help, sharing them, right? Seeking help when it comes to not feeling okay, feeling like you're drowning, feeling like you haven't accomplished enough. Those are not, especially in terms of the degree of intensity, that's not normal in terms of how you should live, and living like that. You want to seek help. You want to speak up. You should seek help. You should speak up, so that you don't become, so overwhelmed that you lose track of who you are and how valuable you are and how significant you are. The impact that you have on other people, you may never, ever understand. So I implore you, if you know somebody, your strong friend, check on them. Find out how they doing. Take them to lunch. Don't just take the, oh, I'm fine, girl, how are you? And then start telling them your problems. Ask them about their pry a little bit. And again, if this is you, I want you to seek help. I want you to seek help. I want you to seek help. Y'all hit the like button on the way out. Been a pleasure. The late night stream. I can't believe I'm up at this hour. It's the first time for everything. Hit the like button, y'all. If you want to show some love, there's the Cash App. Appreciate all my streams. I didn't even type in my stream sponsors. Thank you for all my participants, everybody in the chat, my mods, my thank you to my moderators, all the stream sponsors who super chatted and who gave. I don't even have my phone. My phone is dead, so I can't even check my Cash App support. Thank you for those showing love in the Cash App as well. The screen looks fine. Okay, perfect. I'm happy. Thank you. After show. Wait, girl, we ain't finna do no after show tonight. Hold on. I'll leave this screen open for y'all to leave y'all comments. But Sue, gonna get a bite, a little more tea, and wipe this makeup off and get it in my bed. Thank you for helping me remember this fantabulous lady. This is it. This is where I want to end. Thank you. May she rest in paradise, and may others learn from her. Maybe it won't be in vain. I pray it won't be in vain. I love y'all. Yes, the 20-minute purge cleanse works wonders. When you can't find anyone to say anything to, especially if you're in your office by yourself, or you're experiencing that kind of like microaggression at work or something, write it, but make sure you put it in your bag and take it home with you. Don't leave it there. Let them people find it. But it can help you to get it out, the things that you wish you could say and you can't say, or it's still burdening you and it's kind of like an old festered wound. It helps so much. So try it, y'all. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nelly Child, for being here, sharing your insights. Very nice to have you. I'm about to go to bed, y'all. Prayers for her family. Prayers for everybody else who's experienced this recently. Clearly, there's a lot more of us, unfortunately, contemplating these things. So let's be on the lookout, y'all, and be a listener, right? Encourage our loved ones to get help, right? And be a voice for the voiceless. Hopefully, I'll be that here. And that's, I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. All right. Have a great night. It's been real. Shout out to all my West Coast people. I hear you, Simcia. You are enough, ladies. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate y'all. All right. Love you. It's been a fantastic stream. Flood the comments when I go. Yeah, I'll leave the comments up for a little bit. But thanks for rocking with me and for honoring the memory of our angel, Miss Cheslie Kryst. All right. Good night, y'all. Have a great night. Thanks for rocking with me. I'll see y'all Thursday, 5:30. Have a good night.